Now, I may tell you a joke, but I promise you I'll never tell you a lie. This sweet pineapple chicken over white rice with some steamed broccoli is so good, quick, easy, and you can make it right at home. And I'm going to show you exactly how I did it because ain't no gatekeeping over here. Now, first thing I did was went on ahead, got me some chicken breasts, and I cut those into chicken chunks. And I am going to clean mine with a little bit of cool water and lemon. Now, if you don't want to clean your chicken, you can go ahead and skip by this step. That's just something that I prefer to do. After I got my chicken cleaned to my liking, it's time for us to go ahead and season it. And with the seasonings I'm going to use is going to be Kinder's The Blend. And the only thing in the blend is salt, pepper, and garlic. After I got some of that Kinder's The Blend in there, I did go in with some of that Grill Mate roasted in garlic, because anything roasted in garlic, I definitely will buy it. And I love the Grill Mates roasted in garlic, so I'm going to go ahead and add some of that in there. Now, anytime you cook, you got to go ahead and add you a little bit of garlic powder. So go ahead and get your garlic powder and sprinkle you some garlic powder on there. Now, when you add your garlic powder, you definitely have to go ahead and get that onion powder. So go ahead and get you your onion powder and add that in there, because y'all know garlic powder and onion powder, it go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. You got to have both. Went on ahead and got me some of that paprika, because I like paprika for flavor, and I also like the color that it brings. So of course I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle in some of that as well. Once I got my paprika in there, it was time for me to go ahead and get some of that Tony's Creole seasoning, because it ain't seasoned unless you add you a little bit of Tony's to it. So I went on ahead and got me some of that Tony's and sprinkle some of that in there as well. Once I sprinkle my Tony's seasoning in there, because we making pineapple chicken and we still got some pineapple pepper left over, we're going to go ahead and add just a little bit of that in there, and it does come out fast, so be careful when you're going ahead and give your food a sprinkle of that. After I got that pineapple pepper, I'm going to add me just a little bit of cornstarch in there, just that much right there, and then we're going to go ahead and mix everything together. Now, while you're mixing your chicken together, you want to make sure that everything is seasoned to your liking, because you cannot taste it right now. We're working on what we can see and what we can smell. If it's not seasoned to your liking, go ahead and add you some more seasoning. If it is, go ahead and get your pan, add you a little bit of olive oil, whatever oil you like of your choice, and go ahead and put your chicken in that pan. Want to make sure we turn that pan on high heat, because we're trying to get a nice sear on that chicken. Now, once I get my chicken in there, I am going to go ahead and start working on my rice, because we're going to have some white rice with this. In addition to that white rice, we are going to go ahead and make some broccoli as well. So while the chicken is doing what it needs to do, we're going to go ahead and start working on those other ingredients, because why work harder when we can go ahead and work smarter? Now that I got all my chicken in there, it's time for me to go ahead and start preparing the broccoli. But before we start working on the broccoli, we got to go ahead and work on our pineapples, because this is pineapple chicken. Now, I'm using this can of chunk pineapples that I have right here. If you want to go ahead and use fresh pineapples, you can. But lately, since I've been going to the market buying fresh pineapples, they have not been good once I get home and cut them open. So today, we're just going to go with the can. Now that I got my pineapples open, I am going to go ahead and start chopping up my broccoli so that I can get that into the pan and start steaming. And you can chop your broccoli up as big or as small as you like, whatever your personal preference is. This is how I like mine, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the pan and start steaming. Now that my chicken is just about cooked, I'm going to go ahead and take my chicken and remove it from the pan. Once you got all your chicken removed from the pan, you should be left with the drippings from the chicken. Now, we're not going to throw this out because this is a bunch of flavor. What we're going to do is use this to go ahead and make our sweet pineapple chicken. What I'm going to do is throw in some onions that I already previously cut up and had in my freezer, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some red bell peppers, because I had those previously cut up in my freezer as well. We're going to go ahead and give those a minute, let those steam, and once those steam, then it was time for us to go ahead and add in our sauce. Now, the sauce I'm going to be using is this Japanese barbecue sweet pineapple sauce. I'm going to add some of that in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and let everything combine and come together. Now, when it comes to this sauce, I'm using it because I got it, but it does need a little bit of loving. So for loving, we're going to add us the pineapple juice and the pineapples from the can, because to me, it doesn't give sweet pineapple. It needs like a little bit more sweetness, so we're going to use that sweetness from the pineapple itself. Once I get my pineapple chunks and my pineapple juice in there, it's time for us to go ahead and add that chicken back in there, because we want everything to come together nicely, and we want the chicken to be able to absorb some of the flavor from the sauce that we just made. So we're going to go ahead and put our chicken back in the pot. Once we get our chicken in there, and because I wanted my sauce to be a little thicker, I did go ahead and create just a small little slurry. And I'm going to pour that right on top. I'm going to let this cook on low for just a few minutes so that the sauce can thicken up. Once it thickens up, it should look something just like this. And then it is time for us to go ahead and get those plates because dinner is served. Went on ahead, got me a plate, put my white rice on there. I did add some of that pineapple chicken with the pineapple chunks, the bell peppers, the onions, a little bit of that steamed broccoli. And then we did add a few pieces of green onion just for garnish. This came out absolutely perfect, and I highly recommend you put this on the menu for this week.